What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good.
All
Uh,
right, right, right.
Taking the time to do this. I appreciate it.
Nah, thank you for asking me to join. I think this is important. This is a great way to document what we're going through,
Right.
and these stories are going to be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy because, like, in the time that we grew up, I don't think we really have experience firsthand of anything that was like the stuff that we would read about in history books. Like, we would
Yeah,
read about World War II and World War I and Vietnam War or the Great
yeah,
Depression or whatever. Like, this is
hmm
one of those things now. You know what I mean?
right, yeah, yeah. You're right. Like if our age group, I think we may have 9/11. You know what I mean? But if I know 9/11 affected us all in some way somehow, but
Right.
this is directly affecting everyone.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's sustained, like it's happening over months. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right,
Like,
right, right.
it's crazy. It's just crazy. So yeah, I just thought it would be a really good idea for us to, number one, have conversation and dialogue,
hmm
and then like share that with people because I feel like as much as this is a shared experience, this whole COVID-19 and sheltering in place and whatnot, everybody's still having a personal experience. Everybody's having it, their way. You know,
hmm
some folks are having it worse than others, frankly. Everybody's
Right,
not having the same experience. So
right.
I just thought it would be interesting to not only talk about what our personal experiences and observations are, but also
hmm
just like lessons that we are taking away from this and, things that, how this has shifted our focus or how it shifted the way we think or whatnot.
hmm
Putting that kind of stuff out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yep. And it's amazing how I don't know what week this is. I can't keep up,
Right.
but I remember in the first 2 weeks, I was very happy-go-lucky, and now I'm just like, oh my God, it's
Right.
I don't feel like it's going to end, and
Yeah.
it felt it's getting closer and closer to home.
Right.
So,
Right.
yep,
Yep.
yeah,
Has there
yeah.
been anything in particular that was like that has made the most impact or like anything that's like the biggest shift or change, you know, in your personal experience?
Yeah. So again, from week one, week two, to all the way to now, for me, I think right before it happened, right before the lockdown, I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. I was you know,
Yeah.
mentally, physically, I was just a little worn out. 2019, and I told you this, saw you time from time over the last couple of months,
Yeah.
and 2019 was just such a weird year.
Yeah.
Business wise, we did good, but I just wasn't as creative as I'm used to being. I struggled to get there.
Mhm.
Just like the business actually uh, got in the way of the creativity.
Right.
Um, so I was navigating around that, just trying to find my footing.
Yeah.
And I made a career change um, right before this whole lockdown happened.
Hmm.
And the transition was really tough, again, mentally, spiritually, like a whole bunch of different things. So I was experiencing a lot. So the lockdown for me um, worked out in my favor
Right.
because it gave me a chance to just isolate, sit back, chill,
Yep.
um, appreciate my decision, appreciate all the good that had happened in the last year.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we tend to, worry about the bad stuff,
Right.
like, so it just gave me a chance to just sit back and just, you know, soak
Yeah.
it all in, a woosah, and that was good for me.
Yeah.
I was able to come back to my studio, work in my studio alone. This is, you know, my favorite place on earth. Um, so just being able to work alone and be creative and really, dive into, my new job and properly
Right.
um, transition away from, my old job.
Yeah.
Uh, it just gave me that space, and then it gave me an opportunity to, you know, chill with the family a lot more and just,
Right.
just get back into the swing of things that made me me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like really, really, in interesting and important perspective. Like, we get so caught up in whatever our routines are, whatever the things that we do on a day to day. And, you know, a lot of times we don't realize that whatever our norms are, they're sometimes actually pushing us away from ourselves. Like, we're getting away from who we are, but it's still a sense of normalcy. It still feels like, well, this is my life, so this must be who I am. But it's like, no, that's not who you are. I think one of the things that this experience for me has done is really help put into perspective, like, what is important, what's the distraction as opposed to what is, you know, my focus, or what should be my focus. Like, it makes me pay attention to what I'm paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much noise and distraction. Like, prior to this, our lives could easily just get caught up in, and I'm sure some people are still getting caught up in noise and distractions currently, but like, you know, like you said, having this opportunity to just sit down, be still, not that you're not doing anything, but there is this feeling of like, so much more is going on and the world is moving at a pace that I can't keep up with. Like, everybody's trying to, it's like there's a pace car on the NASCAR track. Like, everybody's kind of at the same speed right now.
And that's a key word. You said pace. You get to do it at your pace. So when I started the new job, it was just like, it was fast going. It was going. They were happy to have me there. So it was going really quick. But for me, mentally, I was slow. I was behind. So I started questioning myself, my decision, if I really wanted to be, if this was right for me, everything. But, you know, COVID, you know, allowed me to just, you know, catch up. And now I feel like I jumped back into the race and I'm on the same pace as everyone else. So that word pace was perfect. There's something else that you said, you know, about routine and all that other stuff. Sometimes when you're driving in this 7-lane race with everyone else, it allows you to forget about your personal routines. So I've been watching you post, you know, the breakfast and the dinner and lunch videos and the workouts and stuff like that. I think sometimes we get caught up into our careers and everything else, and we miss those personal little routines and stuff like that. So I think this will help everyone reset and get back to, you know, again, their true selves.
What is it, you know, it's interesting. Like, I've been trying to vlog more regularly as of late, right? And even like short form videos, or more like longer, you know, stuff with arcs and you know, narratives and all that. But like, you're one of the first people, if not the first person that I knew that vlogged. Like, actually vlogged. Not like, you know, selfies at the party or whatever, but like vlog with a storyline and a, you know what I mean? Has this experience done anything for you in terms of like your documentation of yourself and your life and your work and whatnot?
Yes. So it's funny. So what I've done, I've trickled it all the way back down, been doing something very basic to document things. I have read an article about creating a better like working from home habit. And one of the things I took away from it was getting dressed. So because I come out to my office every day, but my office, I'm here all by myself. It's designed by me. It's basically like a home away from home. It still can have that home component. I could come here in my pajamas, my sweatpants, whatever. But for me, I'm crazy OCD. So I need everything to click. I need all cylinders to be rolling. So what I've done is I made sure I get dressed every day. And what I do is I take a picture every day of, you know, what I'm wearing in the same position every single day. And it's just something that I'll be able to like create like a blog post or have some sort of story to tell. So I haven't vlogged or created any video just because I've been hammered with work. But that's how I'm, you know, documenting this time.
That's smart. I like that. That's like, you know, it's crazy how much we've taken getting dressed for granted. And I think, like, just people in general, like we see the content on social media, people talking about living in their pajamas all week long,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
doing hair or whatever, all those things.
Yeah.
And, Viv made a point to me the other day. She's like, this really goes to, it makes the case of like people who say like they don't get dressed for other people, they get dressed for themselves. Like, well,
Yep, I said that. Yep.
Right. And if you just wearing pajamas, then you weren't dressing for yourself. You were dressing for other people.
Exactly. Yep. And I said that every day I put on something new, I feel good. Like I come out feeling good. It makes me feel good to turn the lights on, to turn the music on. I used to say like to the staff here, when you come in, if you beat me in, turn the lights on, turn the music on, like bring that energy. Like when other folks walk in behind you, they should feel like they're walking into something that feel good. Whenever clients walk in, the first thing they will always say is, I want to work here, like, or I want to stay here all day. Can I sit at a desk and work for the rest of, because it was just a energy. So for myself, all of that would be a lie or a gimmick if I wasn't doing it for myself. So when I come in, I go make myself a cup of tea, turn on the music, turn on lights, and I rock out. The days that I missed those steps were days that I struggled with my work. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even some of the days that I struggled, I decided that I didn't get dressed, or I didn't put any effort into getting dressed. Mm-hmm. I struggled that day.
Yeah. What's like an additional cheat code for me, along with like getting dressed, putting on cologne.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Nice.
Like I'm home, I'm working from home, and I can get dressed. But if I put some cologne on, like, I'm not gonna switch out and put on pajamas in the afternoon. I'm not like, I'm gonna treat this like it's a fit. Like I'm gonna treat this like, it's a thing. And along with that, the like smelling good makes you feel good. The same way looking good makes good. Like it has an effect on my personality and my esteem. Like it has an effect on me. So like I approach my day differently. Like it's like those little extra things. You know what I mean? Shaving, whatever. It's like
So that's one thing you and I have in common too. We both know how to shave. Like we're our own barbers.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing. I give myself a nice little taper.
Right.
I even know how to do the back. I taught Alicia how to do the back for me.
Okay.
And then I've been doing this mustache thing. I don't know if you can see. I got the mustache on. Yeah. So I've been doing the mustache thing. So just little things to, make yourself feel better. Like I think we're in an era of mental health, and then self-health and all this other stuff.
Yep.
If you're really about those things, this is now the time to hold in. You should be meditating right about now. You should be doing yoga because you don't have nothing, you don't have no interference.
Right.
So and again, I think you do a good job at illustrating that in your social. And your social, I'm constantly always challenged, like, fuck, he's working out and I'm not. I should be doing this. You know what I mean? That's what I use social for. My social media feed is to motivate and inspire me. I don't follow no garbage. I don't follow no drunk. So it's either we're doing the same things, or I'm doing something to push you, or you're doing something to push me. That's how my social feed is organized.
Social media is like television shows to me.
Yeah, exactly.
If I don't like the TV show that you produce, that should have no bearing on our relationship.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But people, so funny enough, you said that because I said the same thing. I got mad at some folks this week, and I'm a stickler about this word support that everyone use. Support Black businesses, support this, support that. Yeah. But we only got $5, right? So I'm going to spend each of those $5 on the things that I want, you know? So I do my best to create content, product, or whatever that I feel like you want. Yeah. So if you bought an Artist Dope tee, you bought it because you like it, because art means something to you. It's really not about me. While I'm grateful that you did purchase and I created something that do make you happy or excite you, it's all about you. You know what I mean? If I did a money social event, I was trying to teach you something that you would enjoy. It was a good time for you. It's really not about me. Yeah. And that's the same thing with social media. Like, I don't really care if you don't follow me back. I like what you're producing. And if you follow me, it's probably because you like what I'm producing.
Right.
But Facebook is for friends and family. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So when I want to hear about, you know, your dog did a backflip, I'll go to Facebook for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy because it's the internet. So we're allowed to essentially spend time with each other far more than we do like in person. You know, we get to, watch each other's videos or read each other's tweets or whatever we decide, whatever content we decide to put out. You know what I mean? We all get to see each other's stuff. So,
right.
Sometimes like imagine like there's times where like maybe you're at a restaurant or a bar or you're out at a party or a networking event or whatever, and somebody's having a conversation, and you don't particularly care to have that conversation. You can just walk over to another conversation somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Like with social media, it's like, you're not gonna want to hear everybody's content all the time, and then there's some people that you probably won't want to hear like most of what they have to say. You know what I mean? But I think it just goes to show like there's like a sensitivity that folks may have that like that's not where our friendship is.
Right.
It's not on Instagram.
Right.
Or any other platform for that matter.
Or any other platform. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah. And again, I think that's what Facebook is for, because I think a lot of people too don't understand the different mediums. You know what I mean? Like Instagram is used for one thing, Facebook is for another thing, and blah, blah, blah. So I follow my family and I comment on my family content on Facebook. But unless you're making content that I enjoy digesting, I won't follow you on Instagram. Instagram is, I still use Tumblr. Tumblr is a platform that I use specifically for the things that I enjoy. But I don't need to see Trump's face there. You know what I mean? I'll go to Twitter for that.
Right.
Yeah.
How has it been like in the house, like with the boys? What's their experience been?
So the boys, I have 3 sons. So, and they're all close in age. So they help each other with homework. They're very creative. So they done created a video series called Saturday Not Live, where they act like a news show, and they basically watch the news all week and then make their own version of the news. So that's been pretty cool. And then they're into sports and being competitive. So we found little games. Like last night, we found like some little spongy ball, and we took the littlest son and put him between 2, and he acted as a goalie. So he get double the points because he's a younger one. If he block the ball, but if they catch it, then we get 1 point. So we do things to keep it interesting, and they're very supportive of me and my wife Alicia. They know we work hard. They know, so that they give us our space, but then her and I, we do a good job at entertaining them. We've been doing movie nights every Friday night. So we'll pick a movie and order like pizza or cook together, and eat first and then watch a movie. So we find ways to enjoy ourselves, enjoy our time together. Do those things that I mentioned.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's very dope.
Yeah.
It's that also speaks to the fact that like there are people who, unfortunately, for one reason or another, like home is not a safe haven for everybody. You know what I mean? There's some people who, they don't, not just that they don't want to be around the people that they live with, but they're at the worst when they're around the people for various reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's important for those of us who aren't in those kind of households to really like make good use of this time that we have to be with our families, because it's not normal. You know what I mean? And again, like back to the previous point of like whatever the routines and whatever normalcy look like, we might think that that's who we are, but like spending time with our families and engaging in like activities and even when it's like watching movies together, like just the fact that you're doing that regularly as a family, that
Yeah.
informs your kids in terms of like what they see family as. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That stuff is
Yeah.
big, man.
Yeah. My kids, they're way better than me. I'm not gonna say I don't come from family, but just not as close or as put together as Alicia and I
Okay.
created for our kids. I had to wait until my cousins came over.
Right.
My grandmother was loving and all this other stuff, but she had her stuff, you know what I mean? She had her issues. So it was really more about caring about me versus making sure like I had a whole bunch of fun.
Right.
Um, and I think Alicia and I, we do a good job at balancing them both. Like we're strict on them, but we also are very loose and have a lot of fun at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Um, so they're the ones that's just like, come on, guys, let's do this. Like they're like the kids from the Disney movie, like, let's go outside, let's have movie night, let's do it. And I'm looking at them like, if you don't sit down, but then I think about it like, you know what?
Yeah.
Got to do it, you know, because I know, I think a lot of people think of me as this workaholic,
Mhm.
but close people to me know that I play and
Yeah.
have as much fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I work like I'm not that puffy dude that don't sleep.
Mhm.
Um,
Right. Right. Right.
I'm pushing 40 now, so I ain't staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning writing emails either. So
Right. Right.
um, I teaching balance is like a big thing to me.
Yeah. You know, let me ask you what you think about this, man. You know, growing up in this, like, you know, in New Jersey, you grew up in New Jersey, right?
Yep,
You grew up
Newark. Yep, I'm born and raised in Newark. Yeah,
in- yeah.
yep. Hmm.
So for us, snow days were always a thing.
Yeah,
Like every winter, we knew like there was going to be some storm before this winter is over, and then
right.
snow days are going to kick in, and we're going to stay home and blah blah. Um, like this experience with COVID-19 and like the way that children are going through school now, like virtually and you know what I mean, online,
Hmm.
it pretty much like there's no need for snow days anymore.
Right, right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
there's no reason for it anymore.
yeah. So I get what you're saying. Snow days is over.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, like you ain't getting over just because
right,
it's snowing.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. No, that was great. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, you know, a lot of times we hear people talk about like the norms. Like, man, when is this going to go back to normal, or what will the new normal look like, and whatnot. You know,
mhm,
I personally don't believe that this is going to go back to what we were used to. I
right.
believe that two things are happening here. Number one is like, for as far as the virus itself and however long its shelf life is, and how that has an effect on the world outside and the economy and
Mhm,
all those things. That's one thing. In terms of our like our social norms, I
mhm,
think that there's so much that we're learning that we didn't need, that we were just used to, and then there's so
mhm.
much that we're learning like, nah, we're behind.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
yeah,
in 2020, we should be years and years beyond where we are right now, and we're
right,
just, I mean, at least in this country, like,
right.
obviously
Yeah,
other
yeah,
countries are further along than us in certain things, but I think this is just
yeah,
exposed to us like we can be a lot more efficient, we can be a
yeah,
lot more effective and productive,
right.
we can do a lot more with less. Like
Yeah,
this is a like
yeah.
incredibly interesting experience.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. The whole time I've talked about COVID 19, including this conversation right now, I sound privileged, right? Like I have the security of a job, I have a home, have a supportive family. I love being home. You know, there's a lot of positive in it. And then naturally, I'm just a dreamer. I'm a positive person. I'm always
Right,
looking
right,
for the best thing. So it's hard for me to pay attention to the bad stuff.
yeah,
But I've received text messages about, people dying. And, I mentioned earlier in the conversation that it feel like it's getting closer and closer. But I say all of that to say that I've said the whole time that we're going to learn so much stuff. We're going to become better. You know what I mean? Like even I think we're experiencing. that we have way more than we thought we had.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to use it. Like when you buy this $1,000 iPhone and you only use 20% of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we're going to discover so much more, even like a Zoom. Zoom got its popularity due to COVID-19, but Zoom exists for a while. You know what I mean? Even that video you did about like the plumbing video that you did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's so much stuff that we're gonna discover and be like, yo, you know what? Let me just roll up my sleeves and figure this out for myself. This now versus running outside to Home Depot or any other store. Like, just going to give us a fresh new brain and a different perspective on how to see stuff.
Yeah, I think like one of the things that we should do with this experience is like make a short list of things that we want to come out of this equipped with that we weren't equipped with before. So like whether it's like, you know, the YouTube video, like, cause I basically watched a YouTube video on how to clear a sink drain and then made a video while I was clearing my sink drain off that, right? But there's certain things that like, you know, if we had more time, we would learn such and such, or we would do such and such. And whether it's like food or something on YouTube, YouTube University is as real as it has ever been right now. Like, this is incredible. I know I personally need to get into Adobe After Effects. Like, this is time for me to like learn it. Just learn it. You got the time to do it, and you have interest in doing it.
Right.
Only other thing there could be is an excuse. So just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah. Yep.
Like whether it's like working out, you know, cooking, learning skills, like all like whatever your thing is or things are, like make a short list of like, I want to learn these things. I've always wanted to learn these things or do these things. And I gotta, even if you only have, you know, a couple of extra hours a day that you didn't used to have, you got those hours. So like, get into it, man.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point. Yeah. Even with the exercise and challenges, by just tagging different friends and stuff like that, you other things that you can do at home. And I know a lot of us have excuses for not wanting to work out at home. Some people rely on a gym. But by now collaborating with people that you have never collaborated with, just doing like a 30-minute workout, you discover like, hey, I can work from home, you know, and this was effective. It worked. I feel good, you know, all of that. So for me, I've learned a lot. And I think, again, one of the things you and I both share in common is that we like to share. We like to share what we learn, what we see, and put it out there for others to, you know, tackle. So I look forward to sharing the things that I learned, you know, as I'm doing right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I think that's about it, man. I really appreciate you doing this, man. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, thanks for having me. I think this is a great idea. I think we need it. I think, you know, depending on how you store your content, this would be something to look back on. You know, one of the most monumental pieces of creative that you created in 20 years, you'll be able to look at it and be like, damn, you know, I did this. And to these people, and I got these stories, you know. So thank you for putting this together.
Appreciate you, brother. All the best to you and the family, man.
All right. Same to you. Thanks, man. Peace. All right.